Hi, this is Haley Greer, and today I will be going over my design challenge for economics in action. The age group for this is 11th and 12th grade economics students, and they will be learning about the three main economists: Friedman, Hayek, and Keynes, and they will be using their knowledge that they have learned in class to demonstrate what those economists would do during the time of a recession or during periods of inflation. I've also created an assessment that they will do prior to the project beginning and after the presentations are done. I made two forms of this assessment. I made one through Google Docs and I made one through Google Forms, and this one would be printed out versus the Google Forms would be done over the internet. And to begin, I had some terms for them to define. These are very common terms in economics, and especially regarding the area in which we will be going over for our project. And then one thing I was unable to add to the Google Forms, which is why I also have it here, is the ability for them to draw a graph. I know that they could do it with a pen and paper, but I could not find out how to add that to the Google Forms for them to do it virtually. And for part B, I asked them to go over any of the terms that they did not know before to see if they were able to learn them from their classmates and if they could apply them as well, because I think it's very important not to just, know the definition of something, but to be able to demonstrate that you know how to apply it in the real world as well. And then I also think critically thinking is important in any subject that a student may take in high school and beyond. So I asked them to, explain which economists they agreed with and which course of action, they thought was best and why. And also, if they disagreed with one of the economists, why did they? And I also gave them the opportunity to go over any differences they may have had in terms of what policies they thought would be best to implement that the economists may not have gone over. So for the design challenge, I used Pixton because I thought it was just the one I understood best. And I think it's a great way to implement, virtual teaching in this virtual world that we live in, especially with everything being moved online. And teaching is just an amazing way for students to demonstrate their knowledge and their ability to understand these terms, because it's one thing to know a subject, but if you're able to explain it to others, then you have a much easier time really understanding it. So in my Pixton, I went over just kind of what I would do in the class, kind of explaining, the introduction and other things like that. And then I went on to show how they would work in groups and how they would be, discussing the different terms and just kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. And I just think this is a really great tool for students to, be able to do something in a virtual format, as well as this helps for different learning styles as well. A lot of students are introverted. I'm much more of an introvert myself, so going up in front of a classroom can be really hard. And so I think this gives a way for students to be able to present without, the fear of public speaking or things such as that. So after the students, collaborated in their groups, they also went and they did a presentation in front of the class, which again could be done virtually through the comic rather than in front of an actual class, or they could do both. And so this particular group was given canes, and they went over the different types of policies that he had come up with and how they would be used. And it showed them visiting the different areas in which, that would be applicable, as in, the White House, where it's signed, the bills are signed, and also, the Fed, where the monetary policies are found. And again, I just think this is a great way for students to really demonstrate their knowledge by teaching others. And it also gives them more room to make mistakes, because if you make mistakes, in real life, it can be hard to come back from, but virtually you can make the mistake and you can have someone go over it and you're able to fix and find, what you did wrong and what you can do better. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed my design, and thank you for a great semester.